everyone, and welcome back to another video with me, Shruti Vashisht. You're watching Living Our Ascension. So in today's video, I want to speak to you about what the fifth dimensional awakening is, because there's a lot of buzz about this, in recent years, and people have different ideas of it. But today in this video, I want to explain to you from my perspective what the fifth dimensional awakening is. So I'll take you through, the fourth into the fifth dimensional awakening. And yeah, if you're just curious about questions like that, like what happens, what do you have to go through, how difficult it is, what really happens, so all of those questions I'll try and address in this video, and I'll try and keep it short as well. So yeah, if you'd like to hear that, then keep watching and give this video a thumbs up. That's how I know what kind of videos you'd like to watch from me. Subscribe if you're new here, and check out my personal services. All of my personal services are designed to take you into the fifth dimensional embodiment and beyond, into your Christ consciousness or your Buddha embodiment, essentially. I also have online courses that you can check out, so all of them will be below this video as well. Okay, so what is the fifth dimensional awakening? What really happens? So, the fifth dimensional awakening, in my perspective, is not something that you choose at a human level. So if I one day decide that, I want this for myself, it's not really something that I choose at a human level. However, at the same time, if you have those thoughts, if you really have this burning passion within that this is my purpose, then it is something you can activate, because the reason that you have that desire in the first place, and it's a real desire that is, burning alive and it lasts, the reason for that is because at a soul level you have chosen it. Anything that is not aligned with our soul and our soul purpose and what we decided to do before we came into this life, that kind of just wears itself out. We'll think that we want to do it, we'll chase it for a while, and then we won't have enough energy, or life circumstances will, sort of reorient us and make us go in different directions. But that which is aligned with your soul just finds you, it's in front of your face again and again. It's just about seeing it and choosing it. So it's kind of like a fifth dimensional awakening chooses you, in a sense, if you look at it from a certain perspective. So what happens is, the first point that I want to say is that you become a new person when you are going through fifth dimensional awakening. So of course you are the human that you have known yourself to be, but you start having these experiences that show you that you are not just a physical human. There's these energy realms that exist, and you are energy, and you are also a soul, you are also spirit. So there's these different levels of us, these multi-dimensional levels of us that exist, and it basically starts to bring you those experiences that show you that you are not only physical. So new dimensions of you open up, dimensions that have already existed, that exist inside of you, because you're not just a physical being. And through the higher heart chakra, which is what opens up when the fifth dimensional awakening happens, the higher heart starts to open up. And through that chakra, that is the portal to all of these different dimensions and ourselves that exist at these different dimensions. So we become this whole being. We start to become, just like a whole being. We start to know that I'm not just this human. You start to have these experiences that are outside of time. You feel larger than your physical body. There's just so many different kinds of experiences that happen, ranging from things that feel comfortable to things that don't feel comfortable at all. And, you're just like, whoa, what is happening? So, but essentially, because everything changes, your experience of life, like the foundations of your life, the principles, what you thought life was when you existed primarily as a third dimensional being, and that's how you knew yourself, as just a physical body. And I'm not talking about, like, for example, you might be religious, you might be spiritual since you were young, but having that as a concept and your DNA changing and becoming that is very different. So I'm talking about the experience of it, not the concept of it. You might have read all the right spiritual books, but it's not about the concept. It's about knowing it in your body. It's about activating it in your body. So that is what happens when we have a fifth dimensional awakening, is that our body, our DNA itself is changing. And, the deeper potential, the potential that we have, the talents that we have at all of these different levels, the soul level, the spirit level, whatever different levels we have, and have existed as before or in a parallel way, because there's no time that really exists, so there's nothing like before, after, and now as such. It's just all sort of like the now moment. So it's, you can say, parallel lives, but all of those abilities start to open up as well. So you become definitely a different person. The way you look at life changes. There's these different abilities that are opening up. And what also happens, which is bringing me to my next point, is that you experience a dark night of the soul period. So your shadow also comes up, and it's not just the talent. Usually the talents start to come up, your intuition starts to open up, and your soul talents start to open up a little bit after. The first thing that you usually experience is a dark night of the soul period. So what that is about is its real awakening starts here, where everything that you've suppressed your whole life, all of those notions, your traumas, small and big, things that happened in your childhood, all of that, we all have a little bit of that at least, if not a lot. So all of that starts to come up, and there's no way that you can't face it anymore, because when you're going through a change in your DNA, and you have at a soul level said that I want this change, I want to move into the fifth dimensional embodiment, then it'll keep bringing you these different experiences to show you that this and this is where you are stuck, is where you are choosing stagnation. And it's interesting that the siren is happening at this time, as in like wake up, you need to get out of this sort of a thing. So that is what the dark night of the soul, the purpose essentially is. It is difficult. You might go through a health crisis. You might go through a crisis in your relationship, in anything really that exists in your life. The foundations that you have known in your life, which is, something as humans we hold on to. Like, we have a certain idea that if I go to this doctor, I'm healthy. This is healthcare for me. This is nutrition and diet. I'm so sorry about if you can hear that noise. But I live in New Delhi, so this is life here. I'll try and edit it as much as I can in the editing process. So these different areas of our life that are important to us will change. Like, usually it's something that we really held on to, and that's sort of taken away from us a little bit. And we go through this dark night of the soul, like facing what loss is, what death is. So the dark night of the soul is a rendezvous, is like a face-to-face with death itself. It doesn't always mean physical death, and obviously if you're in your physical body and you are going through a fifth dimensional awakening, then you're going to live. So it's more like a metaphorical death, but it will take you through difficult experiences usually. But what happens is that we realize that nothing is really in our control, and so therefore we learn to surrender. That is what the dark night of the soul teaches us, that whatever this thing that we held on to, that we are so identified with this ego, that this is mine, this is me, and when that is not there anymore, that belief or that thing, whatever that identification was, that is of a physical nature, when that is taken away in one form or another, then we are sort of left to wonder what it is that I really am, without all of these physical things that I have associated myself as. So that is when the human really goes deep, and it can be a difficult period, of course, but at the same time you start to discover what you truly are, and that the universe lies within you, the cosmos lies within you, and the very source of life lies within you. So the third point that I have is that also beautiful things start to happen. Synchronicity starts to open up. You will start seeing repeating numbers, and then just synchronicity, like you think of something and then it appears, or you think of let's say you're thinking of abundance and that's what you want, and then suddenly you get some money from somewhere, even if it's just a small amount, or people start you get a new client, and all of these little things start to line up, and you start to see how your inner life is connected with your outer life, how you are the creator and the architect of whatever is happening. Because before, we don't know this, when we exist as just a third dimensional human, before we've had like our fourth and fifth dimensional awakenings, we don't even know that we create our own reality. And even if we know it as a concept, like I said, we haven't experienced it. So these awakenings of especially the fifth dimension, is an experiential awakening. It happens inside your body. You know it in your bones. So synchronicity starts to open up. We find out what our purpose is, which is not usually just one thing, one grand mission. It's like, what is my purpose now? For example, I don't like my job, I'm stuck in it, but what small step can I take now, and where is it that I am, my heart really wants to be. So these type of things start to happen, and day to day you find your purpose. By the way, I forgot to say, my course that I have, which is Embody the Fifth Dimensional Vibration, takes you through all of these different steps, like activating synchronicity. That's a chapter in this course where you read about it, but you also activate it. I take you through processes to activate these things, and meditations and all kinds of stuff. There's a chapter on the dark night of the soul, what it is. There's a chapter on breaking out of the matrix, which is another thing that happens when we are moving from the fourth to the fifth dimensional reality. The matrix is essentially just, all of these realities that humans believe exist, like all of these wars and usually things of a lower nature, that we are kept under a certain level of control. And then we start breaking out of it, because inside our bodies we are feeling something else. We're discovering that we are energy, we are a soul, and all of those different things start to open up, and maybe we haven't even fully made sense of it yet, but we know that what we are told in society is not the full truth, and we start to question that as well. We start to disidentify with that. So there can be this isolation period as well that happens. Usually it can last anywhere from a few months to a few years, or it just varies for different people. But essentially it ends when you fully go through your dark night of the soul period. You embrace all of those shadows and those things that life is trying to show you, where you are stuck, and you find out what your passion really is, what you really want to do, and you discover it step by step along the way. And then finally, the fourth point that I'm saying, that I wanted to bring home, is that you come into divine love. So this is the most important thing about the fifth dimensional awakening, is that because there's lots of people who are going through their fourth dimensional awakening, which is more about that healing process, the dark night of the soul, discovering that my body has wisdom. And that's another chapter in my course, the wisdom of the body, and getting in touch with your body. How do you know what is happening in your body? These different meditations and processes through which we can discover, what am I really feeling, what are the unbalanced energies that are there, and what is really flowing underneath that is my burning passion. How do I heal, if you're going through some sort of a health problem, and just all of that. Just basically, our body is so intelligent, and all we ever need to do is listen to it, whether it's for ideas and intuition and creativity, or whether it is for replenishing ourselves, coming into better health. Whatever it is, you have this divine intelligence at every level. Even the people that you attract in your life, let's say you attract the best doctor ever, and you're very happy with them, or you attract the best teacher ever that's bringing you, the perfect guidance for whatever it is you're interested in. The reason they have shown up in your life is because they are a reflection of what you know inside. So whatever you have claimed inside, that yeah, I can have access to this wisdom because it exists in the universe, it exists in me, and I am worthy of it. When you actually claim that, in your body, then it lines up in your external too, through teachers and opportunities and all these kind of things. But anyway, I digress. So the fourth point was that we come into divine love, which is service. So divine love is another name for service. So we realize that I am not just here to have my own agendas and fulfill them. Of course we do that, because that is also true passion, like they say, the passion of the Christ. But the true passion in its essence is about service. It's about the fact that we have emerged from source, from God, and we are a spark of life, and our main purpose is just to sing, sing like the praise of the Lord. I think they say that in some spiritual scriptures, but what it really means to me, singing is vibration, and you are basically creating the same vibration. So you're a creator, so it's like you're singing the song of God. So the same codes, the same vibration that source gave birth with, which is love, you create that in the universe and wherever you are. So you create love, so you're a creator. And divine love is the perfect balance when it comes to relationships, especially of unconditional love and and boundaries. So it's opening up to experience love and allow others in and allow life in, but it's also having the discernment to say yes and no, knowing that I have limited energy. So as a master being, I need to choose where to put my energy. So these are the 4 points. This is what happens. It can be a difficult time in the beginning, but really magical opportunities open up, especially when divine love opens up that is connected to the higher heart. So first, the green heart opens up inside of us, the green regular heart chakra. The color of that is green, and inside of that you can say, like if it's a portal, the green heart is the portal, and then you go further into the higher heart portal. That is the first stage of your real awakening. So the green heart is related to healing and coming into the wisdom of the body. And then the soft pink, we enter the soft pink space in the heart, which is unconditional love, just allowing life in, allowing love in, self-love, all of those things, acceptance, seeing the inner child in yourself and all others. And after that, once we have mastered that, then we go further into the heart, and the higher heart opens up, which is magenta colored. And that is when we also have discernment, we also have boundaries. This is the more masculine side of love, not just receiving and accepting, but also being an example for other people, serving as well, and choosing where your energy needs to go. So yeah, so those are some of the things that happen when you have a fifth dimensional awakening. If you have you're going through something, write it in the comments below. You have any questions, you can send them to me as well, and let me know if I missed any points about the fifth dimensional awakening. Of course, your intuition opens up, all of those things open up, but I really wanted to give you more of an experiential thing. I hope I was able to do that in this short video, of the main things that happen, and just some examples of what I've seen people go through as well as myself. So if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and check out my personal services, and let me know what video you'd like to watch from me. Leave that in the comments below, and I can make that video for you. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.